Hey, welcome back. It's New Leaf News presents the Legends Clubhouse. I am Bobby Kaboose, as always, with my boy Lawson. What's going on, man? It's Wednesday.
It
We're
is a
midway
Wednesday.
through the week. Um,
We've
you know
officially
what's
hit we've officially hit the midway point for the average person's work week, which I'm
yeah, it's
sure.
hump day. I mean, you don't know anything about that,
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say.
um,
I remember Hump Day when they had the commercial for the camel. Back in like the back in
yeah,
like the early 2010s.
yeah. Mike, 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 Mike.
Yeah, that one. I was gonna say. Other than that,
That's what it is. I think that was a Geico commercial. I think.
yeah, it might have been because I remember for the Geico commercials there was a small bit of time in which they kind of got rid of the Geico gecko for like a month.
Yeah, and this was, I think, after they had the caveman, and maybe before they had the gecko. I think it might have been in between.
Do you want to know what commercial I've been starting to see again recently? There's some
Hmm.
insurance commercial where he talks about whatever spiel, then it's did the little piggy go wee 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 on the way home?
Oh yeah, with the little with the
With
windmill or
exactly with the
the thing
pin, yeah, the
pinwheel.
pin, yeah,
I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that one resurfaced.
dude. I've seen it like 6 times over the past week, and I'm like, now they're bringing back old commercials, dude.
Bro,
Go ahead.
the fucking during Christmas,
Yeah.
the M&M commercial with Santa Claus,
Mm.
where the peanut M&M like, I didn't know he was real. I didn't know they were. Dude,
Yeah.
that's like from like when I was a kid.
There was.
And
Oh, continue. I'm sorry.
and the Hershey Kiss one, the
The bell. Doo,
ring
doo,
the
doo, doo,
bells.
doo, doo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, those two are like from when I was like 6 or 7 years old.
That's fucking crazy because I remember watching those Hershey Kiss commercials. A commercial that has been imprinted in my mind. Do you remember the Dell commercial when they're selling the individual laptops and they were going in the factory? They're like, lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop.
I'm
Bum
not
bum
sure.
bum. They were making all the individual Dell laptops and then they were all like made white and then you would like tap it and then it would change to that whatever color you tapped it with. And
Oh, okay. Do you just have the song in your head, or
dude,
why did it?
it's just imprinted, dude. It's the scene, it's the jingle. I mean, from a marketing perspective, it fucking works. It's been stuck in my head, and they've stopped doing that commercial since fucking like I don't know, 2000 like 12.
Right.
It's been
Well,
stuck.
we've been watching an old cartoon called Bobby's World.
Yeah.
It came out in like 1990, and it like ran from like 1990 to like 1997, right?
Mm,
It's with Howie Mandel, and there's an episode where he's got there's a whole music video,
mm.
and it's for a song called "Underwater the Fish Don't Stink." And dude, that shit just gets in your fucking head. If you want to fucking have a song stuck in your head for literally like it's been like seems like months now,
Yeah.
it goes the fish don't stink. And then he'll sing it
I
in
was about to
other
say,
episodes
is
too.
Howie
It's
singing it?
no, it's like a fish. It's like
Oh.
a fish band, and they're just they happen to be like in the music video that I think they're like mermaids or some shit. Like Bobby
Mm,
and his uncle Ted are mermaids, and
that's
these
funny.
fish are swimming all around and singing shit and drumming on shit and
Yeah.
on like seashells and bullshit. And but yeah, dude,
On
it
some Little
gets stuck in
Mermaid
your.
shit, just fucking
Yeah,
playing
dude.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever Sebastian does, I think.
I think that's his name. I
Yeah.
was about to say, how long it's been since you've seen a fucking Disney princess movie?
How long? Like,
No,
have
no,
I
I'm just saying like in general. Like you wouldn't
since
remember.
I've seen one?
No, I'm not asking. I was speaking like in general terms as to like you don't really think about it until like I don't fucking know. I think it's the best. Yeah, I think you're
Oh
right.
yeah,
Like example,
yeah,
I don't remember the fucking what was he? The little lobster dude.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
dude, actually, I don't even know if I should tell this story, but in high school, some dude that was on the basketball team with me, he
Mm,
printed out a picture of a lobster and put a girl's name, or actually, he printed out Sebastian and put a girl's name on there because she always had like a tendency to have a red face because she'd go tanning and like
yeah.
burn. He put her name with Sebastian, and I think he got in trouble.
That's so funny. Now it is Wednesday, like we said. Wild
It
Card
is one.
Wednesday. We kind of do I don't know if you as in the viewer have kind of picked up. Every Wednesday we kind of try and do like an off sports topic, whatever the case may be,
Yeah,
and we do have something entertaining. However, I want to get your sports opinion on this first. So
yeah.
today, the
Today,
NFL. I don't know if it is the owners or the executives or rule makers, whatever. They're meeting about the tush push. So the
the
first
tush
thing,
push,
so the first thing is, where do you stand on the tush push? And then part two of a question, should they ban it?
dude. So I I was listening to the radio yesterday because they were talking about this on the local radio, sports talk or whatever. And dude, I honestly until listening yesterday
Mm.
did not give two fucking shits about this fucking play. Like, I mean, they usually do it on the goal line, but like I guess they were saying like, there is other instances where other teams are using it like just as like a regular play. And I guess it's got like an 85% or if unless they just fucking threw this number out there, but they said it's like an 85% success rate. And after they started talking about that, they were saying like no football play should have that big of a success rate. And then they were talking about the opposite, like onside kicks. Like they literally, because you have to announce it now and you can't, the element of surprise isn't there,
Mm.
that it's a 3% chance of getting an onside kick. So they're like talking about eliminating both of those plays because, a play shouldn't have that little of a success rate or that high of a success rate as a
Mm.
football play. So anyway, as far as what I fucking care, I don't care. But when you kind of start looking at it like that,
Mm.
I wouldn't mind if they banned it, like make them run a different play. But the thing is, too, is like if they do ban it, is it going to become a slippery slope where you can't even run
Like
like
a
a
QB sneak.
quarterback sneak at point?
Yeah.
So it's like, where do you want to move the goalpost, and how stern do you want to be with this? Like, I
Mm.
get like the two or three of your teammates pushing your ass and basically carrying you is kind of bullshit, but
Right.
I mean, because you can't like I know guys do it, but are you allowed to jump over the line as far as to try to block a field goal? Or is that elite? Or can you jump over the center? Or is that
You,
is that a? I thought that was a rule that you couldn't do
you
that.
can jump. You can jump over the line. You cannot touch the center or any of your teammates to help boost you over. Period. But if you can
Okay.
jump and clear it, by all means.
Okay. So I guess if that's illegal, then because if you can't use one of your teammates to get over the line,
Mm.
you might as well ban the tush push then because it's essentially the offensive version of that,
Yeah,
right?
because the from a defensive player's perspective, because it is illegal. I cannot push like if I'm a linebacker, I can't push my nose tackle into the guard. You
Yeah.
can't do that because due to player safety, but an offensive player
Right.
can.
Right.
That's where it's double sided. And for me too, it's like when I would have if they got 3 yards of play on this shit, I'd have a problem because you could run that bitch
Mhm.
all the way up the field, 3, 6,
Right.
9, 12, 3, 6, 9. Like you're picking up first downs with this. But the fact that it's only in like these fourth and one, third and one, like you said on the goal line stuff, I don't have a problem with it. I thought it was a great point that you brought up the jumping over the line stuff because I don't know if you remember in the NFC Championship game, Frankie Louvu kept jumping off sides trying to time it.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
it got to the point where the officials, said if you do it again, we're going to award a score.
Right.
Which officials actually, a lot of people are like, what? Officials can
Yeah.
just
Like
give
you could do
touchdowns?
that.
Like, yeah, they can do that.
Yeah. And the thing is too is like, okay, so um they have been starting to, because it used to just be like if you were at the 1 yard line, they would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're starting to see it when they're at like the 3 or 4, and they can get that 3 yards. So it's like, yeah, you can essentially probably do it all up and down the field, and that could be the only play of the game, and it'd be obviously boring as shit.
Yeah.
Is there speaking of that and other things like um with the NFL, like, is there anything that you would change as far as if you could change, one or two rules or I'm not putting a cap on it, but
Yeah.
like, anything that you would change in the NFL if you had
Um,
to?
I would 110%, like, it's interesting because you said two, but I'm sure that was just a general thing. Like, I would
Mm.
start with take onside kicks, either give the element of surprise again, or eliminate them all, let it be 1st and 15 from the 35. If you convert it, you keep it. If not, turn over on
Well,
downs.
essentially it'd be 4th and 15, but
Yeah,
yes,
4th and
yeah.
15. Yeah, I don't know why I said 3rd and 15. Um, I would bring back the original kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
I would. It's so funny because I remember, growing up, there was the Dead's Caught It game, and then like the year afterwards, Larry Fitzgerald has had a crazy catch that was ruled a catch, even though he stuck his arm out for yardage and then it slipped out.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like now we know more of what a catch is, but sometimes it's like, oh well, the ball's in his mid, slightly rotated,
Dude,
no catch.
that shit used to drive me crazy because that started with Calvin Johnson.
Yeah,
Like I don't know if you
the
would
Calvin
against the
in
Bears.
Chicago, yeah, the catch it going to the ground, yeah.
Dude. And then what's a catch, what's not a catch, that used to drive me fucking crazy because like
Hmm.
if you slow the camera down enough, no matter what it is, you're gonna see the ball move a little bit. Like, dude,
Yeah.
like are you telling me as a human race we are too stupid to fucking see what a fucking catch is with our
Yeah.
own goddamn eyes? Like, that was the dumbest shit ever, and that was when I was like, okay, like the NFL's got to have some kind of like, shenanigans going on
Hmm.
because, you know, for them to be able to manipulate and be like, oh yeah, we can tell you what a catch is and what isn't, but like you on TV, you people are too dumb to know what it is. We'll tell you what a catch is. We'll tell you. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. I have eyes. I can see.
Hmm.
He definitely had fucking control, and he pushed himself up and just, like, so
From
stupid.
from someone who the Jesse James play still gives me nightmares.
Hmm. Yeah.
And what's funny
There was
is
it wasn't that the similar thing that Calvin did?
he caught it extended, and when the ball hit the ground, his arms
Yeah,
rotated and the ball spun.
yeah,
And still had possession, but because
right,
when the ball hit the ground, the ball spun in his hand. It's
right.
like he
And
lost
what?
possession.
Yeah, and he made a football move. I remember this.
Yeah,
He made
he
a football
extended. Yeah, and then then
because then
there's
he spun around too. He caught it and spun around.
no, he ran like a little angle route and caught it short, and mid catch he extended for it. And then
Right,
when
but
he
didn't he
planted
at
it to
least
go,
move his body like he was facing,
yeah,
and
he
then
was
didn't he move?
facing this way, caught it, and yeah. The thing,
Yeah.
and what's
So
even more funny is that year in the Super Bowl, I think it was 3rd and goal. It might have been 2nd and goal. The Zach Ertz touchdown, where
mhm.
he won on one, whoever the fuck the corner was, caught it, dove, he broke the plane. When he landed, the ball fucking flips up and he still catches it. But it's like
Yeah.
that. Oh, so it's
Right.
dead there and not a catch
Hmm.
here. But I don't look. Because,
Right.
before I got a little bit more knowledgeable about it, I was like, well, the ball never hit the fucking ground.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe we're too gibberish. One last quick thing though, and we're talking about changing rules and penalties and stuff like that. This is not something I would do, but I've seen people talk about it. What's your opinion on like if the NFL were to embrace the college pass interference rules,
That was my first thing, dude. That was my
where
that was my first rule change. Like, dude, the fact that you can have a 50, 60 yard penalty is fucking stupid. Um, what I would do, like, we've been talking about this for years, me and my brother. And so what I would do is, because you can literally do this all up and down the field, and it'd be unstoppable. You have a receiver just run a go route
mhm,
50 yards down the field. You have the quarterback throw him short,
back
throw
to
it
the ball.
45 yards, and have him come back and bait the defender, and you get a 45-yard penalty every single time. Like, it's unstoppable. And for the fact
Um,
that you can gain that much yardage, like, college works fine. And actually, they brought this up on the local radio station as well, because I want to give them, just in case anyone else they're, oh, he just got it from the radio yesterday. Well, yeah, I fucking listen to the radio, but I'll give him credit. it's not my, it wasn't my fucking thoughts. I'm just repeating what they said, and I agree with it. But anyway, there, you don't hear anyone that watches the college game when there's a PI called that they're like, oh shit, we only got 15 yards of first down. Like no one
Only,
complains about it.
yeah, only 15.
Yeah, no one complains about it, dude.
Yeah,
So like it should definitely not be a spot foul. That was my number one rule change, and I'm glad you brought it up because actually some of the stuff that you were saying too, as far as the onside kick,
mm,
um, you know, maybe change that. I like the element of surprise, Pat McAfee on his intro to his show has the
the
one that
Houston
he kicked
one.
right up
Yeah,
the middle against the Texans. Yep. And
it also brings up like you're essentially taking away in the one of the more iconic Super Bowl moments where
yeah,
um down I think they were down 6 at the time, New Orleans, and Indy's about to get the
Hank
ball.
Bass.
Yeah, the
Yep.
fucking the surprise onside. You're already down. Peyton's getting the ball. You know what?
Hmm.
Fuck that. We're gonna take a chance. If they get it, it's a short field anyways. They're probably gonna score anyways because Peyton was damn
Right.
near unstoppable that year, and that's one of the big key components is to to New Orleans winning that Super Bowl is the surprise. I'm right there with you. If
And
when they announced that, oh, you have to declare, I'm like, that is so stupid.
yeah, and so now when you go back and if that highlight is on any kind of video package, you have kids that are now learning the game and being like, why you well, that doesn't make any sense. I thought you had to declare it. Like, why did it, blah 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 blah. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
for someone who enjoys watching old games and stuff like that, 100%. Like if you're growing up a fucking New Orleans Saints fan and you and little Jimmy's watching, oh, hey little Jimmy, check out, this is when we won our first Super Bowl. Dad, how come they didn't announce that they declared the onside kick?
right,
Like it just wasn't a thing. Like
right.
I'm pro change, and I think the NFL is the best league when it comes to trying in new stuff. Because I remember a couple years ago they added the challenge, what was PI or not, and then that
Hmm.
shit was terrible, so they scrapped it.
Yeah, and that concept was great, but
Right.
like it's got to be. I think it has to be more of a not a challenge, but a review from New York, if you
Hmm.
want to call it, and it has to be fucking quick so the game continues to move on,
Yeah.
right? There's too much stoppage already in the play. Like there was like this study about how much action is actually in a baseball and a football game, and they're actually very similar. It's just under 10 minutes of actual action from when the ball is snapped to the play, and same with baseball. As soon as the pitch is thrown
Hmm.
and it being in play, it's about watching a 2 to 3 hour game, especially in, baseball will be a little lower now because of the pitch counts and all that bullshit, but whatever. Um, which I agree with. I'm not calling it bullshit. I'm just saying
Right.
bullshit just because it's my vocabulary. Um, anyway, so in a 3 hour football game, you're actually only watching about 10 minutes of action. So, anything to speed up the game, but yeah, I thought that was actually going to be a really cool rule that you could challenge the pass interference because I'm like, there's so many that like you're like that's not fucking pass interference, dude. Like
Oh,
he's going for the ball or whatever.
especially when you're hand ticky tack fighting 40 yards down
Yeah,
the field. You know,
right.
if there's not enough to gain like a conclusive advantage over somebody else, then
Hmm.
it's incidental contact. Now
Yeah,
there were in some instances in which a coach would challenge and it's like, oh, their feet tangled and they both fell down, so just
yeah.
pick up the
But
flag.
you know where incidental contact is accepted and you can tangle your feet in the world of wrestling. And we saw the other day that WWE 2K. I actually I bought last year's 2K and I played it for like 3 days and I kind of got bored of it. And um, but I might get this year's. This year's like from the stuff I see online,
Hmm.
it looks pretty sweet as far as like story modes and stuff. But anyway, Your boy, probably what your second favorite player in the league,
He pisses me
Tyrese
off.
Halliburton, was part of the most recent downloadable characters. So the show topic for today was, I asked you who, as far as celebrity, athlete, TV star, movie star, whoever, who would you like to see in a downloadable pack on
Now,
WWE 2K?
now I peeped one of your original articles from months ago, on Yardbarker that still has your name on it, about
Yeah.
the schedule of like who's coming out what. And I think you said that they were gonna have like three more NBA players, and
Hmm.
Madden kind of did they did some historical actors that played in football movies like last year in their Ultimate Team mode. This year they had an Anthony Edwards cornerback card, so they're kind of branching on towards the end of the year when they every card has all 99 everything, so where they're just kind of
Yeah.
mixing it up and stuff like that. Um, it'd
Do they
be
have a Bobby Boucher?
They did not.
Mm.
They had like Ed O'Neill,
Oh,
yeah, as like a middle linebacker or whatever the position was. This was probably like 2 years ago, and
he was probably
yeah,
a
close.
running back because he scored 4 touchdowns in one game, or a fullback or something. He was a fullback
Whatever
in
it was.
in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
show.
Um, and so it's gonna be interesting also to see like you said, Tyrese Halliburton. I think it was on Pat McAfee's show that he announced that, oh, I'm gonna be the next DLC. Um, I saw this, someone tweeted out, I've never bought a WWE game in my life, but I'm going to
Hmm.
buy it just to beat the shit out of Tyrese. And it was even more funny because when the Knicks started to take control of the Boston series, and you see the edits when Tyrese and Jalen Brunson had like their little WWE thing. I think it
Yeah,
was last year.
yeah.
And I'm like, well, it'd be interesting to see if it's Jalen Brunson. I
I'm,
have a
I'm guessing it is. I'm guessing the next NBA one will be him,
that would
especially since we're playing each other in the Eastern Conference
That
Finals.
would be
Uh,
so much. There's
yeah,
already so much built-in promo. I've seen so many people be so creative of like the Rock and Austin My Way
hmm,
promos that people have
yeah,
made. They're super sweet. I got a list, and I know you got a list.
yeah.
So the
We'll go back and
yeah,
forth.
so the first person that I thought would be a great addition, it would just be funny. Seth Rogen. I don't have a specific character. I thought he could have like a mankind spiel to it, where one episode or one promo he is his character from The Interview. One, it's his character from This Is the End. Where it's from Neighbors. Just little goofy shit like that.
Well,
And we have
I
Fit.
think all of this is the same character. He plays kind of the same character.
I mean, kinda, yeah. So
So,
Seth Rogen played as himself.
all right,
And his finisher for WWE would be the Green Mist. He
like
the Green
some
Mist.
Oscar type shit.
Yeah, like fucking when you remember Tensai back in the day, like in the early 2010s,
Hmm.
shit like that,
Yeah.
where it's just like,
Or Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then his opponent goes blind, they fall, and they're essentially dead.
Essentially dead.
I blow green mist in your face, you die.
So, that's usually comes from the Asian wrestlers, and I keep telling my girlfriend that I'm expecting her to blow mist at some point, because all the heel Asian wrestlers, that's what they do. Um, First one that I have
Mm-hmm.
is well, actually he was part of wrestling at one point anyway, is Dennis Rodman, the Worm. He was part of the NWO back in like 97.
Mm-hmm.
Like famously missed practice because he was at a WCW Nitro in the NBA Finals. And they're like, yeah, it's just Rodman. That's what he does. But he could be, they could align him with Hollywood Hogan. I'm sure Hollywood Hogan's in the game. With Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and they give him the NWO whole spiel. He's got the different color hair. Maybe you could change it up, every
He's
time.
got the black and
Uh,
white attire. He comes out with the WWE World. He comes out with the heavyweight championship and it's the
yeah,
NWO on
and
it.
a cigar.
That'd be
And
so
yeah, dude, that'd
funny.
be fucking awesome. So
Yeah.
um his finisher though, his finisher